Okay, so when we left off in our last video, we had just finished making this kind of rectangle come up and fill the screen. We realized that we never named it, so let's go ahead and make sure that we name it. Let's just call this, I don't know, background or something. That way we know what we're working with. And what we want to do then is, this is where we're going to begin to make that kind of like transition where this kind of has that cool effect come over the top of it, and then we're going to put our words across it. So before we do that, let's go ahead and come up and hit edit. So once we've clicked on our background, we've selected it, and let's hit duplicate. And that's going to make a duplicate layer, and we'll actually do that twice so that we end up with background 2 and background 3. Let's change the name of this one though to pattern 1, and this one to pattern, pattern 2. And what we want to do then is over here in the effects and presets, you'll see it looks kind of like this. Over here in the magnifying glass, we want to type in Venetian, or start at least, and it will come up here with our animation and our effects. And so After Effects has tons of different effects built in. We're going to use this one just to start with, and if you guys want to do something else with that later, that's fine. You can try out some other ones, but for now we want to use the Venetian blinds. And so what we can do then is just take that, we can either just drag it onto pattern 1 like that, and you'll see that when we hit the arrow we now get this effects panel here, or we could just drag it right onto the screen itself, but let's for our sake just drag it onto pattern 2 again, and we see that we have effects underneath both of those as well. So let's start with pattern 1, and underneath pattern 1 in effects we have our Venetian blinds effect here. Okay, so you see that underneath our pattern 1 and pattern 2 we've got our Venetian blinds, and underneath pattern 1 where it says transition completion at 100%, as we scroll through it looks like it doesn't do anything, and that's because right now on this pattern 1 it's still using the fill color of green, so it's our same color as our background. So let's go ahead and just click on the fill color up here, and let's put in the number 2B, 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 and that gives us kind of this gray color. And we're going to do that for both pattern 1 and pattern 2. So 2B, 2B, 2B gives us the gray color for that. Again, initially it looks like nothing happened, but as we scroll through now we see that it's kind of transitioning using this Venetian blinds effect to this gray, and it uses like kind of looks like a blind closing. Okay, so that's the effect, that's what it's doing. So I want to change this up a little bit though. I want on my pattern 1, I want the direction to be 45 degrees. So it's going to kind of change it at an angle. And I'm going to change the width, I think, to 50 and make it a little bit thicker. And for pattern 2, I'm going to do negative 45 degrees, so it's going to go at the other angle, and change that width to 50 as well. So let's see what happens there now. So now you see as we scroll through, now they're going at an angle, 45 degree angle one way, negative 45 degree the other way, and it starts to kind of get thicker in the width until it transitions out to 0. Now I don't really want it to go all the way out to 0. I think I want it to just go to 50%. Part of the effect that was put in is that it transitions from 100 to 0. So let's change this just to 50. Again, looks like it didn't do anything because it's pattern 1 is going all the way out to 0, so let's change that one to 50 as well. And now it's going to stop kind of there, so it kind of starts green, and then it kind of fades into that look, and then it stops there at the 50%. Okay? Alright, so I think that's looking pretty cool so far. So let's see what we've got so far. We've got our circle, explosion, scrolls down, and then transitions into that. And I like it. Looking pretty good. So let's move back to where that stopped at 100 frames, and let's put our last piece in here. I'm just going to kind of close up here a little bit. And so we're going to go up and put our text in here now. So I'm going to come up to my text tool, and I have been using a font called Dreamer's Brush. It's a font that I added, so you'll have to just choose a font that you like. But go in here and look around. Choose a font that you think is pretty cool. I changed my color to white, and I went ahead and changed it to make it a little bit bigger. It's mine's at 149 pixels as of right now. So you can choose something there, and I'm going to just go ahead and put in Stream Jayhawks. You will want to put in your superhero's name. On here, then I'm going to go to align, and I'm going to just align this so that it's in the center. Okay. But now, when we start, we get Stream Jayhawks right in the middle of that. We don't want that necessarily. So right at the beginning there at 100 frames again, let's go ahead and go back to our effects and presets. Let's put Venetian blinds right over top of that. And now it goes away. And let's see what happens here. So it's going to come in and it's going to fade into it. And then it kind of stays there till the end. So as we watch the whole thing, we now have our effect come in, and then it says Stream Jayhawks, and then it kind of fades out. Okay? All right, I think that about does it. So I'm going to click off this one more time. Let's do a fit here so we can see it. And let's watch our animation as it goes through. Pretty cool. Maybe it could be sped up in some places a little bit, but for the most part, I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can accomplish.